So this is not a super chat. It's just a chat from a new viewer, by the
Okay.
way. Hi, I don't know how to pronounce it. Says, that sounds like social Darwinism, though, because the disabled cannot often provide for their own health care. Is the choice only to let them die? And before you answer, Carl, I'll just say this is why I still do believe in the social safety net. And I bet you probably disagree with me. I don't know if you do, but I still believe
Sure.
in the government providing some kind of help for people who legitimately can't provide for themselves.
I don't.
You don't.
Absolutely not. Because as soon as you've got a bureaucracy, I mean, let's put aside the moral argument I just made about sticking to principles. So where the hell is the government going to get the money to do this? They're going to steal it from someone else. Like, I guess if you had a charity government, I guess, sure, if people were going to voluntarily contribute to a government that took care of people at that level, I guess I might be okay with it. But put the principle argument aside, just since a lot of people like pragmatism, as soon as you get a bureaucracy that is built upon finding people who can't take care of themselves, guess what they're going to find more and more of over the next several decades and generations? More and more people who can't take care of themselves. Like, that's how you breed people who can't take care of themselves, is you get the government to help them. How you actually help them is through private charity. And people will balk at private charity like, well, I don't think private charity would work. That's a bunch of bullcrap. Look at history and look at how much money goes through private charity even now. Even you pay half your money in taxes, there's still a crap ton of private charity out there. There's plenty of private charity to take care of people for that stuff.
Okay, let me jump in for a second. You're making me reconsider my position because you're right. I have seen private charity work, and I've mentioned it before, but here in Austin, there's a place called Community First that is completely privately funded. I think it's a Christian organization, and it's a community for the homeless, and they have about 200 beds, if I recall correctly, tiny houses and mobile homes, and they've actually done it right. Like they focus on trying to rehabilitate the homeless back into the community. They have to pay a meager amount in rent, so they're actually, like you said, personal responsibility, making a living in some way.
It's accountable.
It's accountable,
it's
and
very personalized.
They also integrate them into the community by having events and stuff at Community First. You can go there and watch a show or, play game night or whatever with the residents who live there, and they're meeting people. They're not just staying with the homeless, right? Like
That's right.
And they're not homeless anymore because they're living in at Community First. And so I know that it's done so well that last year or the year before, the California government sent some people out to take a tour and try to get some ideas. And I remember thinking, yeah, you're not going to be able to reproduce this because you're the government.
The idea is to not tax people for this and just do it through voluntary contributions.
Yeah.
Because look, when you're voluntarily contributing to, especially at a local level, I mean, at local levels, you get a lot more control, right? When you're voluntary, if it's your church, churches are great at this, right? When it's your church, let's say a church, I don't know, a medium-sized church has got a congregation of what? Couple hundred people, few hundred people that regularly go. When you're contributing through the church, that's not a huge community. You might be sponsoring just a couple people, right? You might be helping out just a couple people in your community. You're going to be pretty careful about who you select. And like, if you're sponsoring the town drunk and he just continues to not try to improve at all and just goes on crime sprees every week and shows up and it's like, give me my damn check, I am owed it. Like, yeah, you're going to stop sponsoring him. Like, you take a personal interest in the people that you sponsor, and you take a personal interest in how to help them psychologically. Everyone's different, what they need, what their problems are. So the idea that this stuff can't be solved except through forcibly stealing money from some people and running it through some goddamn bureaucracy and spinning it out the other end is stupid. It's a dumb idea.
Well, yeah, and somebody in the chat said, I'm sorry, it's moving kind of fast, but somebody said a lot of charities are scams, are a massive scam. Well, yeah, some of them are, but not all of them. In fact,
Yeah.
what I would, in my experience, a lot of, well, The social justice nonprofits I used to work with are total scams. They're not actually helping anyone. They're just pushing ideology and making a lot of money for the people at the top. But there are some charities I've seen that actually do great work, and that this would be one. It's the community first. They also run something called Loaves and Fishes, where they take food around. It's like a mobile food truck, and they take food around the homeless. But I don't think that organization is a scam. It just depends. Of course, there will be some that aren't, but
right. And look, and the path I would say to this, if you're not fully convinced, is how about you move? Can you agree that it would be better done at the state level than the federal level? Right? And once you wrap your head around that and you see that that's true, then you'll realize it can be done better at the county level than at the state level. And then you realize it can be better done in towns than in the county. And pretty soon you realize it's better done in small private organizations. And I want to say one thing about charities, for people who donate to charities, which I'm sure a lot of you do. Be careful. Well, if you're on the libertarian end of the spectrum at all, be careful about the charities you donate to in terms of what they use their money for. I discovered, it's probably 15 years ago when I started looking at this, it radically changed how I donated money. A lot of charities, especially large ones, use a substantial portion of their money not to do anything, but to lobby Congress for more tax dollars. So I was horrified to discover that, I was a libertarian at the time, and I was horrified to discover that I thought I was doing this, hey, I'm doing the private charity thing. I'm like, no, actually, I'm funding my enemies. I'm giving money to someone so that they can go try and tax me more. Like, that is screwed up. Be very careful. A lot of large charities do that. I would recommend only I would try and donate to small local charities if you're going to do anything like that. Do it small local charities, and definitely make sure they're not spending their money trying to increase the size and bureaucracy of the state. But a lot of them do. Someone just said United Way. They're a big one on spending your money to lobby, right? They're a big one.